How's it going, everybody? This is a video for a friend. He's asking about how to get into the trigger to clean it. And at the same time, I was going to do a little video on how to install the violent trigger. So, first things first, Ego 11, pretty much all stock. Now we're going to install this trigger. So, first thing you should do, take off the macro. Alright, go ahead and unscrew the reg. Makes things easier. Alright, there's going to be 2 frame screws here that you're going to need to take off. This is a 1/8 Allen key. Should be in the little set with your Ego. So, I'm going to go ahead and take those off. And I like to alternate the screws so that you have even pressure on, the frame and stuff. Alright, then you're going to get the, I think this is the 5/64, and you're going to take the right side grip screws off. And you're going to lift that up. If you want, you can take out the battery, up to you. If you do take out the battery, you need to take it out from the bottom here. That's what they say in the manual too. Take that out. Alright, and then right in here, let's see if it'll focus. Right there are 2 Molex connectors for the eyes and the solenoid. You're going to need to take those out, and make sure you grab by the white parts and not the wires, because then it'll rip. So if you have needle nose pliers, it kind of makes things easier, but I never really use them that often. I just there's a little extended part of the white Molex connector that I just kind of stick my fingernail and pull up on. That gets one out, and then usually the other comes right out too. Sometimes it's nice to have the little needle nose because you can grab it out. Alright, and then you can just pull the frame and the body apart. You can stick the wires in a little gap so that the body comes out, and you can put that off to the side. So here's that. Now right on top, you're going to see 2 little screws. You're going to take that one and that one off. And that's how you get the trigger, I guess I call it the trigger tray off, but this is the 1/8 one. You're going to take both of those screws off. Alright, and then the trigger assembly comes right out. And now, if you wanted to, for instance, for me, like change the trigger, you're going to take this little magnet piece off. Alright, on the back of the screw right here, there's just 1 screw. I'm trying to let it focus. Alright, this 1 screw right here, you're going to loosen that one up. This is the 1/16. Loosen that one up just a couple turns. That one actually tightens with the trigger, the little pin that the trigger pivots on. So that's what stops the side-to-side play. And so you can just push the pin out, pull the pin out, and then the trigger comes out. There's your stock trigger. All you do is take your new violent trigger, stick it in there. Alright. Stick the pin back in. I kind of want to center it up a little bit, and you're going to tighten that back screw just a little bit. You don't want to tighten it too much, because if you tighten it too much, it won't be able to move along the pin, i.e. pull the trigger. So you just want it enough so that it won't, slide back and forth, and then at the same time enough for it to pivot back and forth. So sometimes, you just gotta play with it a little bit, find out where you like it. Plus, you just make sure you don't want to let it fall out. I think that's good. Alright, so now you're going to take the little magnetic piece, stick it back on top right there. like so. It'll clip on from the magnet, from the trigger and stuff, and just make sure that it's aligned. Just gotta make sure that it's aligned right. Okay, now you're gonna take your frame, put it back in, and make sure when you put this back in that you align the screw and everything right so that it can hit the micro switch and everything. Because if you put it in wrong, it might get caught and you won't be able to pull the trigger. So just whenever you put it back in, be a little careful. I don't think I can get this on camera. Let's see. Alright, now if you look, there's the micro switch, and you see how that screw has to hit the micro switch, so you have to be careful whenever you put it in to make sure that gets in correctly. Alright. And you're just going to go ahead and put those little 2 screws back on top. Using that 1/8 Allen key. You don't need to be too snug, just, you know, make sure it's in. There's that. And now before you put the frame back on, you should just pull the trigger just to make sure that it glides smoothly enough and that you didn't over tighten anything. And there you go. And yeah, that's it. So let's go ahead and put that back on the frame. Open the grips a little bit. The easy trick, if you want, you can just bend the grips on the other side. Gets it out of the way. And now you're going to carefully place the wires back through the little gap. And make sure you don't ever tug on the wires or anything like that. That'll rip it and then you just have a bad day. So go ahead and get those in. Attach those connectors back to the original slots. Just make sure those are in. Sometimes I use an Allen key just to make sure they're in all the way. Alright, slide the frame back on and make sure you're not pinching any wires when you do. Make sure the wires go through that little gap that they give you. And then once that's on, go ahead and put your grip frame screws back on. Alright, there you go. Just assemble your grips, your regulator, and your macro, and you're good.